Imagine standing at the base of a towering mountain, its peak hidden by thick clouds. The climb seems impossible, and yet you know that something incredible awaits at the top. But here's the catch. This mountain isn't just a physical barrier. It represents the fears, doubts, and patterns of self-sabotage that hold you back from reaching your full potential. What if I told you that this mountain is not an obstacle, but an opportunity, an invitation to transform and grow? In Brianna Wiest, The Mountain is You, we learn that the mountain is actually a guide, leading us toward our most powerful selves. In today's video, we're going to break down the lessons from this book and discover how we can conquer our inner mountains, step by step. Ready to start the climb? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Roots of Self-Sabotage. Self-sabotage is one of those patterns that many of us struggle with, yet it often feels like an enigma. Why do we, knowingly or unknowingly, stand in our own way? Why do we delay, procrastinate, or avoid taking action when we know what needs to be done? It's as though we are working against ourselves, fighting our own growth. But as Brianna Wiest explains, self-sabotage isn't a form of self-destruction. Rather, it's a sign that something deeper is at play, something that requires our attention. The truth is, self-sabotage is not a random or accidental act. It's a pattern that signals misalignment between our actions and our desires. We may consciously want to succeed, but something within us is resisting that success. This resistance often takes the form of procrastination, negative self-talk, or avoiding challenges altogether. But why? Why do we fear our own success or failure in equal measure? Take procrastination, for example. It's something most of us have experienced at some point. You set a goal. Perhaps it's to start a new project, finish an assignment, or work towards a personal dream. But somehow, you keep putting it off. You might tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm just not feeling motivated today. But deep down, there's something more at work. Procrastination, in this case, is often a shield against deeper fears. Fear of failure might be one reason you avoid taking action. But just as likely, fear of success might be holding you back. Success could bring change, expectations, and pressures you might not be ready to face. It's easier sometimes to stay stuck in the comfort zone, even if it means never reaching your full potential. What is important to understand here is that these actions aren't about weakness or laziness. Instead, they are messages from your inner self, signaling that something within you needs healing or clarity. It's as if your subconscious is trying to protect you, keeping you from what it perceives as potential danger. This protection isn't always in your best interest, but it comes from a place of deep-rooted beliefs and fears that you've accumulated over time. Wiest emphasizes that recognizing this pattern is the first step toward overcoming it. When you begin to notice when you're self-sabotaging, you open the door to understanding why you're doing it. Are you procrastinating because you're afraid of failure? Or is it because success seems too overwhelming? Are you avoiding conflict because you fear confrontation? Or do you avoid taking risks because of an underlying fear of the unknown? These questions are critical to unlocking the answers to your self-sabotage. The key lesson here is that self-sabotage is not your enemy. It's a messenger. It's telling you that something deeper needs attention, that there's an internal conflict between where you are and where you want to be. Instead of berating yourself for failing or procrastinating, take a step back and listen to the message. What fears are being triggered? What beliefs need to be examined and challenged? The first step to overcoming self-sabotage is to acknowledge it without judgment. We often berate ourselves for falling into these patterns, thinking we are failures or incapable of change. But by treating self-sabotage with curiosity instead of self-criticism, we begin to uncover the root causes and give ourselves the opportunity to heal. In the end, overcoming self-sabotage is about self-awareness. It's about understanding that our actions are deeply connected to our beliefs. And when those beliefs are out of alignment with our desires, we'll find ourselves unconsciously sabotaging our own progress. But once we begin to listen to these messages and understand their origin, we can move toward change, healing, and ultimately success. Self-sabotage isn't your enemy. It's a messenger. Instead of fighting against it, listen to what it's trying to tell you. The root of self-sabotage often lies in deeply held fears and beliefs that are out of alignment with your true desires. Once you recognize this, you can start making the changes needed to move forward. Chapter 2: Emotional Healing as a Compass. Emotions are often seen as unpredictable and uncontrollable forces. Many people view their emotions as obstacles to be avoided or suppressed, something to be managed, masked, or pushed aside. But in The Mountain Is You, Brianna Wiest reframes emotions as valuable tools, offering us essential guidance on the path to healing and growth. She explains that emotions act like a compass, pointing us toward what needs attention within ourselves. They are not signals of weakness, but rather, they are vital messages urging us to heal and evolve. When we ignore or suppress our emotions, we often end up creating destructive patterns that interfere with our progress. Wiest underscores the importance of feeling our emotions rather than burying them. Avoiding emotions might seem like the easiest solution in the short term, but it only leads to long-term harm, creating unhealthy habits and keeping us trapped in cycles of stress, confusion, or anxiety. To truly heal and grow, we must be willing to sit with our feelings, no matter how uncomfortable they might be. Think of your emotions as a storm. Imagine the intensity of anger, sadness, or fear as the force of nature, whipping winds, torrential rain, and blinding lightning. When we are overwhelmed by emotions, it feels like we are caught in this storm, and instinctively we try to run. But running only makes the storm chase us, making the turmoil last longer. The key we suggest is to face the storm head-on. By acknowledging and processing the emotions we feel, we can weather the storm and find the calm that follows. Just like a storm passes and the sky clears, emotions, when confronted and processed, lose their power over us, leaving behind peace and clarity. A powerful example of this is Sarah, a woman who felt constantly overwhelmed by her work. On the surface, Sarah appeared to be managing, but inside, she was battling a deep fear of not being good enough. Rather than confronting this fear, she buried herself in distractions, endless tasks, late nights, and a constant state of busyness. She thought that if she could just keep herself occupied, her anxiety would fade away. But, as often happens, the more she ignored the root of her feelings, the stronger her anxiety became. It wasn't until Sarah decided to pause, confront her feelings, and seek help that everything began to shift. She realized that her anxiety was a direct result of her unaddressed fears, and by acknowledging them, she was able to transform that energy into something positive. Over time, Sarah learned to process her emotions in healthy ways, turning her anxiety into confidence. She found that when she allowed herself to feel her emotions, rather than running from them, she was able to release the power they had over her and start moving forward with greater self-assurance. This story of transformation highlights Wiest's key lesson. Emotions are not obstacles. They are tools for transformation. They are messages that point us toward the areas of our lives that need attention, healing, and growth. Instead of viewing emotions as burdens, we can learn to use them as catalysts for change. Each emotion, whether positive or negative, carries important information about what is happening within us. And once we learn to process them, we unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we approach our emotions with curiosity rather than fear, we open the door to personal transformation. Emotions guide us to the parts of ourselves that need healing, and by facing them head-on, we unlock the power to change our lives. Healing doesn't happen by avoiding pain, but by leaning into it and allowing ourselves the space to grow and evolve. Emotions are not obstacles to be avoided. They are tools for transformation. By acknowledging and processing our emotions, we allow ourselves to heal and grow. Rather than running from our feelings, we can use them as a compass, guiding us toward the areas of our lives that need attention and healing. When we embrace our emotions, we unlock the power to transform ourselves and our circumstances. Chapter 3: The Climb is the Growth. Personal growth is often romanticized as a smooth, upward journey, a steady march toward success. But in reality, growth is much more like climbing a mountain. It's challenging, uncomfortable, and often painful. The climb can feel exhausting, and at times it may seem like progress is slow or even non-existent. Yet, as Brianna Wiest teaches us in The Mountain Is You, this very resistance, the discomfort we feel when we push ourselves out of our comfort zones, is actually a sign that we are on the right path. Think about the process of climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the more effort it takes. Your muscles ache, your breath becomes shallow, and each step feels like a battle against gravity. But every inch you gain brings you closer to the peak, where the view is breathtaking and the sense of accomplishment is unparalleled. Personal growth is no different. As we challenge ourselves to become better versions of who we are, we encounter resistance, fear, and discomfort. And though these feelings are unpleasant, they are not signs that we should stop. Instead, they are signs that we are pushing past our limitations. And that is exactly where growth happens. The discomfort you feel when trying to change is often the very thing that indicates transformation is taking place. Growth is not easy, and it is not meant to be. If change were effortless, it wouldn't carry the same value. It's through struggle, perseverance, and discomfort that we build resilience and strength. Just as a climber faces the challenge of a steep incline or rocky terrain, we too must face the emotional, mental, and physical obstacles that come with self-improvement. But with each step, we get stronger, more capable, and more equipped for the next challenge. It's important to remember that growth doesn't happen all at once. Change is a gradual process, and the key to making it manageable is taking small, intentional steps. If you're struggling to wake up early, for instance, don't try to force yourself into a drastic change by setting your alarm an hour earlier right away. Instead, start small. Set your alarm just 10 minutes earlier each day. These tiny adjustments may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they accumulate and create lasting change. The climb doesn't need to be steep all at once. By breaking it down into smaller, achievable steps, you can make the ascent feel more manageable and less overwhelming. This approach not only makes growth more sustainable, but also helps to build confidence as you witness your progress over time. Each small win is a reminder that you are capable of more than you think. The journey of self-improvement may be long and winding, but it's also deeply rewarding. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth that comes from pushing through it stays with you, forever changing who you are and how you approach life's challenges. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's always worth it. Just like climbing a mountain requires effort and persistence, personal transformation demands stepping out of your comfort zone. The resistance you feel is a sign that you're on the right path. By taking small, manageable steps, you can navigate the discomfort and embrace the growth that follows. The climb may be challenging, but the rewards make every step worthwhile. Chapter 4: Pain is a Teacher. Pain is an inevitable part of life. It's something we all experience, yet it's often viewed as an enemy to be avoided at all costs. Whether it's physical pain, emotional heartache, or the sting of failure, we instinctively want to run from it, suppress it, or escape its grip. But Brianna Wiest, in The Mountain Is You, offers a powerful perspective. Pain is not here to punish us. It's here to teach us. Every painful experience, no matter how difficult, carries within it valuable lessons that have the potential to make us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about the last time you went through a painful experience. At the moment, it may have felt like an insurmountable obstacle, something that would break you. But as time passes, many of us look back and realize that it was precisely through those challenging moments that we learned some of our most important life lessons. Heartbreak, for example, can teach us about our boundaries, what we are willing to tolerate, and what we deserve in relationships. Failure, while disheartening in the moment, can be an incredible teacher, guiding us toward better strategies, new skills, and a more refined approach to our goals. Wiest's message is clear. When we stop avoiding pain and start embracing it as a teacher, we unlock a new level of resilience. Pain, in this sense, becomes a valuable tool for growth. Instead of seeing it as something to fear or resent, we can begin to ask ourselves, what is this pain trying to show me? This shift in perspective allows us to approach life's difficulties with curiosity rather than dread. Instead of running from pain, we can confront it head-on and learn from it, making us more adaptable and capable of handling future challenges. One story that perfectly illustrates this concept is the journey of Alex, a man who faced rejection after rejection in his job search. For months, he struggled to find the right opportunity. Each rejection felt like a blow to his confidence. But instead of giving up or letting the pain defeat him, Alex decided to analyze his failures. He asked himself why each interview had gone wrong, what he could have done better, and what he could learn from each experience. Over time, his approach to interviews improved. He refined his resume, practiced his responses, and focused on building the skills that were most in demand. Eventually, Alex's persistence paid off. He landed his dream job, a position that was far beyond what he had initially hoped for. In Alex's case, his pain became his greatest teacher. Rather than letting rejection define him, he used it as a stepping stone for growth. Each painful experience taught him something new, guiding him toward success. His resilience grew as he learned to view pain not as an obstacle, but as an essential part of his journey. And ultimately, this perspective shift led him to greater success than he ever imagined. Pain carries lessons that help us grow stronger. Instead of avoiding pain, we can choose to learn from it. Every painful experience holds wisdom that can guide us toward better strategies, healthier boundaries, and deeper self-awareness. By embracing pain as a teacher, we unlock a new level of resilience, transforming our struggles into opportunities for growth. Pain is not a punishment. It's a guide that can lead us to greater strength and wisdom. Chapter 5, Alignment is Everything. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves climbing various mountains, whether it's striving for career success, personal growth, or meaningful relationships. But what is the ultimate destination of this climb? According to Brianna Wiest in The Mountain Is You, the goal of this climb is not simply to reach the top, but to find alignment, a sense of harmony between your actions, your values, and your aspirations. Alignment is what gives our lives purpose and direction. When we live in alignment with our true selves, we feel a sense of fulfillment and meaning that cannot be achieved by chasing external achievements alone. Alignment isn't just about achieving success in the traditional sense. It's about living a life that is true to who you are. Many people chase success according to society's standards, chasing promotions, accumulating wealth, or gaining approval from others, only to find themselves feeling unfulfilled. The disconnect between their actions and their authentic desires leaves them feeling empty, despite outward accomplishments. We suggest that the key to overcoming this emptiness is alignment, living a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Living in alignment with your values doesn't necessarily make life easy, but it does make it meaningful. Life will always present challenges and obstacles, but when you are aligned with what truly matters to you, these challenges take on a new perspective. They no longer feel like roadblocks, but rather as part of the journey that brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. The sense of fulfillment that comes from living authentically is not about avoiding difficulty, but about navigating it with purpose and clarity. One of the most powerful ways to align your life with your true self is by identifying your core values. What truly matters to you? What brings you joy, fulfillment, and peace? Once you understand your values, you can begin to set goals that reflect those principles. If freedom is one of your core values, for example, you might prioritize choices that allow you the flexibility to live life on your own terms. Whether that's through pursuing a career that gives you independence, designing a schedule that fits your lifestyle, or building relationships that support your autonomy. When your goals reflect your values, you naturally move toward a life that feels more in tune with who you are. This kind of alignment is a powerful force. It gives you clarity and purpose, even when the path is uncertain. It makes difficult choices easier because you know you are moving towards something that is true to you. The beauty of alignment is that it allows you to define success on your own terms. It's not about meeting external expectations, but about crafting a life that honors your values, passions, and deeper aspirations. True success comes when your life aligns with who you truly are. By identifying your core values and setting goals that reflect them, you can create a life that is purposeful, fulfilling, and meaningful. Alignment doesn't mean life will be easy, but it does mean that it will be worth the climb. When your actions reflect your authentic self, you gain a sense of clarity and fulfillment that cannot be found by chasing external achievements alone. Conclusion. As we reach the summit of our journey through the mountain is you, we come to a profound realization. The mountain was never the obstacle. It was a mirror. All along, the challenges, the resistance, and the discomfort we faced were reflections of the strength, courage, and resilience that already existed within us. The true purpose of the climb wasn't to reach an external goal or to conquer a physical peak, but to discover and embrace the person we are capable of becoming. Wiest beautifully encapsulates this idea with a simple yet powerful statement. The mountain is you. The obstacles you face, the difficulties you overcome, and the growth you experience are not just about achieving an end goal. They are about transforming into someone capable of handling anything that life throws your way. Every challenge is an opportunity to tap into your inner resources and become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And as you climb higher, you don't just conquer the mountain. You become the mountain, embodying the strength, wisdom, and power that you've developed through the process. This transformation is the ultimate reward of the climb. It's not about arriving at a destination, but about becoming a person who is capable of facing life's challenges with clarity, confidence, and grace. The mountain you face today may seem daunting, but as you move forward with intention, growth, and alignment, you'll find that you are more than capable of conquering it. And when the next mountain appears, you will be even stronger, more prepared, and more confident in your ability to rise to the occasion. So, the question is, are you ready to face your mountain? Whether it's a personal goal, a career challenge, or a difficult situation in your life, remember that you are capable of overcoming it. The strength you need is already within you. The climb may be difficult, but with each step, you will grow into someone who is not only capable of facing challenges, but who becomes the embodiment of resilience itself. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What steps are you taking today to start your climb? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights that inspire transformation. Together, let's keep climbing and becoming the mountains we are meant to be.